Cutting your social media time in half and also cutting out social media in general can help you out tremendously when it comes to your mood regarding your financial situation. For a long time, I used social media as so many different outlets. Back in the day, I did have a shopping addiction, and I would buy every little makeup item that I seen mentioned on YouTube. And I'm talking back in like 2010, 2011, and of course things do change. So nowadays it's not just like makeup, it's literally everything. And then of course when you want to add into the, you know, the comparing yourself to others and wishing and hoping that you could look like that, or you could have that car or that house, and you know, why can't I make more money? Why can't I be like them? You have to also, you know, you have to realize that social media isn't real. What you're seeing online, you know, it's super fabricated. People only show the positive half the time. Well, people only show the good things that happen to them. They never want to talk about the hard times, like living on low income. And I myself have always tried to be realistic, you know, when it comes to showing you guys the reality of going through hard times financially. What has helped me is cutting back my social media time. Only having a certain amount of time for Instagram, only having a certain amount of time for Pinterest, Amazon, things like that. Whatever is your favorite app that you spend the most time on, that is the app that you want to take a break from. YouTube is great. You can learn a lot from it, but also you can feel pretty down with your certain situation. And that was me for a long time. And for those of you that watch my vlogs, you know I've been going through it these past couple of years. So again, what has helped me is taking a step back from social media. Even though this is my full-time job, I think, you know, what really got to me is comparing my views, my income, my thumbnails, the way I look, things like that. And you know, just constantly nitpicking at myself and my financial situation. And that doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help the people that are around you. So what I did for myself was cut back my time on social media. I try my best not to go on social media at night before bed. I take a huge break, like usually around like past 8 o'clock. I'm not on my phone. My phone like either stays on the windowsill or it'll stay in the closet. If I have an appointment the next morning, then I do need my alarm. But if I don't have any appointments, then I will shut my phone off and put it in the closet and just take a huge break and just go to bed with a clear mind and wake up with a clear mind. So I'm not saying like stay off of social media completely, because I know it's hard, but try to cut your time in half with social media. You will see a huge difference, you know, when it comes to you thinking more positive about the financial situation you're in, because you won't constantly feel like you're missing out, or you're missing out on a certain item, or you won't feel bad about your situation. I hope I'm making sense. When it comes to like scrolling for hours, you start to like nitpick at little things in your life, because I know I did, and I know my sisters also do that as well, where they want new cars because so-and-so has a new car and she just posted it and she makes more money, and why can't we make more money? And you know, it's just a huge negative ball, and it just keeps growing and growing the more you go down that rabbit hole. Moral of the story, try to take a break from social media. Whatever social media you're on constantly, take a break. Take a huge break from it. Try to figure out what time schedule will work best for you. Again, I'm not saying get rid of social media completely, because I know a lot of you guys love social media. It is fun at times, but it's also not the best for everybody at certain times, especially when you're going through it. When you're going through hard times, social media can do more harm than good. Just be careful for the, you know, for the amount of time that you're spending on social media. It can put a huge downer regarding your financial situation. When I was in high school, I remember us having personal finance class, and I remember the only thing that they ever taught us was how to write a checkout, how to mail the checkout, and how to do our taxes. Which the way they showed us on how to do our taxes was like a tax booklet. Like, it was just so old-fashioned. But that's it. That's what they taught us, was mostly like how to pay a bill with a check, how to mail a check out, and old-fashioned tax books, like how to do your taxes back in the day. What they really should have been teaching was how to budget wisely. This is something that I could have benefited from a long time ago. I got into a couple sticky situations when I was in my early 20s and even teenage years, you know, regarding not budgeting wisely. You know, I thought I would have a significant amount of money. You know, I work a full-time job. I'll have money next week. I'm getting paid next week. I'm getting paid next month. I'll have the money. Things do happen. So you can't control car problems. You can't control health problems. You can't control certain things that happen, like a tree falling on your house. Now you gotta fix the roof. Your cat getting sick out of nowhere. Now you gotta go to all these vet appointments that are costing thousands of dollars. Been there. So what helps out and what prepares you for all of this is budgeting wisely, and that's what's gonna keep you positive with your, you know, with being on low income. That's what keeps me staying positive, is knowing that I budgeted correctly and wisely this month. I also want to add that you do not have to be afraid of numbers, because when I heard the word budgeting, I automatically back then thought, like, this is not going to work out. I'm not good with numbers. No way. I'm gonna fail. Having that negative thought right away, just due to like that one word, budgeting, the minute I learned how to simplify budgeting, the rest was history. First, I had a blank sheet of paper and I wrote down all of my main bills. My bills such as like rent, car insurance. If you have a car payment, write that down, because that's a bill. Whatever main bill that you pay monthly on a due date, write it down. That's what I did. And then I put like a line in the middle of all that, and then on the other side of the paper I wrote down random little bills, such as household items like laundry soap, like miscellaneous things, household cleaners. I wrote all of that down. The items that you purchase on a consistent level, that is considered a bill. I don't care if it's one little mascara wand, but you're constantly buying that mascara every 2 to 3 months, that's a bill. You're constantly buying it, it's a bill. So when I wrote down my main bills, added that up, and then I wrote down all of the miscellaneous things that I was buying, such as like makeup and things like that, I realized that my miscellaneous items were more than my actual bills. So once I figured that out, I cut down on my miscellaneous items. I don't buy makeup right now at the moment because I'm trying to save money, and I just don't feel like I need makeup to be on camera. I'm very comfortable with how I look these days, you know, regarding like no makeup, and I'm proud of myself for actually coming on camera, because back in the day I wouldn't even leave my house without makeup, and here I am talking to thousands of people without makeup. And that has truly helped my budget a lot, because I used to spend most of my checks on makeup back in the day. I also cut out buying clothes all the time. If you go back to 2018, 2017, you will still see me wear this same outfit that I'm wearing, because right now I am on a weight loss journey, so I'm keeping what I have in that closet until I'm at a healthier weight and I'm at a weight that I feel comfortable enough to get new clothes. So I'm not purchasing any clothes right now. I'm not purchasing no makeup. You know, those are the things that I realized back then, that's what I was spending a lot of money on. So the minute I wrote it all down, I started to decrease in those items on that whole, you know, budget paper. So by the time that I was done decreasing items, I realized, like, all right, so this is what I have to pay. These are the things that I need to buy that are for the house, whether it's like laundry soap, like your main essentials. So bills, main essentials, and add it all up. Whatever's left over, throw into savings. And it became a game. Back in 2017, 2016, like, it became a little game for me. And just trying to find little ways here and there on how to budget better next month, how to save more money next month. So it becomes a little addicting, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a good thing. It's a good feeling to have when you learn how to budget wisely. We still budget till this day. Our grocery bill is usually around $540 something. I do round it off to $600. That's our budget each month because prices do fluctuate in the city. So we are eating a lot healthier. We're buying fresh produce a lot more. We're eating a lot more salads, a lot more sandwiches, things like that. So it is going to be a hefty grocery bill. But if you really calculate the money, it's $300 for me, $300 for my partner. That's $600 a month. That's kind of typical for a couple. And plus, you know, with inflation, things are just extremely high with food. So I say all of that to say this: creating a budget to manage your finances effectively and prioritize essential expenses only. The minute you start to do this, you guys, you will have such a positive outlook on your financial situation. Because even with me making low income now, even with me making low income back then, I always found a way to just figure it out, cut out certain things. I can live without makeup right now. I can live without buying a bunch of snacks, junk food snacks. I can live without that. We can have an apple or healthier snacks. We don't need to have chips and all that stuff in the kitchen, which is going to cost a lot more money, and it's going to want to make you snack more too. So by cutting out those things, I have learned that living on low income doesn't always have to be a negative thing. You just have to learn how to budget. Once when you learn how to budget wisely, it's amazing what you can do with a small budget and still be able to save. I know some people aren't going to agree with what I'm saying, and that's okay. Try out the whole budgeting thing. Put your main expenses on one side, your miscellaneous expenses on the other. Decrease some of that, you know, miscellaneous items. Figure out what you can live without for now, and add everything up and figure out what you can put towards savings, because you never know. Life loves to throw curveballs at everybody. Your car died, your cat or your dog needs to go to the vet unexpectedly, you get sick unexpectedly, something happens to a window in the house that needs to get replaced. Like, life loves to throw curveballs, and it's best to be prepared instead of not being prepared. I constantly tell my mom this, I constantly tell my sisters, pay off your debt before having fun. Create a budget before having fun. I know life shouldn't be boring, I get that, but in a sense, life shouldn't be complicated either. So try to figure out your finances before doing all the fun things in life. Another thing that's not for everybody, and this is try to practice the minimalism. I know it seems like a cult. It's not a cult. But the minute you start to realize that you don't need a lot of things, or you don't need your house filled with clothes, shoes, makeup, things like that, you will then realize that you can, you know, living with less, it does make you feel a lot happier. Because you realize, like, things don't make you happy. Material items can never ever make you happy. Maybe temporarily happiness, but long-term happiness, that doesn't exist regarding like material items. Obviously, the life that I live is not for everybody. I know living in a bedroom like this where it's literally just a bed, it's not for everybody. I get that. And I'm not telling you guys to like change your entire household. I'm not telling you guys to be a complete minimalist. All I'm saying is to practice minimalism in certain areas of your house. Simplify your life by decluttering and focusing on what truly matters to you. So if all those shoes in your closet you don't wear, then they don't really matter to you. Give them away to people that will wear them. Focus on just the shoes that you like and that you're gonna wear. That way you realize, like, all right, I don't really need a closet filled with shoes, and I don't need to spend money that I don't have on shoes because I have everything I need right here. You know, I get this question a lot, you know, in my inboxes on Instagram and also in the comment section on YouTube. Kira, how do you stop yourself from buying things that you don't really need? I'm not perfect. There are some things that I purchase still and I bring them home, and then a couple days later I go and return them. So always save your receipt, because you can like hit rewind on that mistake if you save your receipt. But back in the day I couldn't do that. I couldn't hit rewind because the damage was already done. Adapting a minimalist lifestyle made me realize that I don't need a lot of things to make me happy. Actually, it's the opposite. Having a lot of things makes me very unhappy and makes me feel very anxious. And that's why I'm constantly cleaning and trying to like declutter my partner's closets and stuff, because I always tell him, why do you need this box and this box and this box filled with wires? Let's just go through all of it. And I'm not trying to say that I'm right. I'm not, you know, meaning it in that way. He just tells me like, you know, I went to a house today and they had more than enough stuff lying around, and the lady was saying that she needs more things. And I'm just like, wait, you already have what you really need in front of you. So that's another thing, is some people don't realize what they have in front of them. And the minute you start to practice, you know, minimalist habits here and there around the house, I think you become a little bit more humble, because where you are in life right now is exactly where you need to be. And the same thing goes for what you have. What you have in your life right now is exactly what you need. Some stuff you don't really need, and you can give it to someone that does need it. So you kind of have the upper hand when it comes to helping others in need. Another thing when it comes to staying positive on low income is to stop telling people your personal finance situation. I made this mistake with being online, and I talked about me making less money with YouTube. I did my monthly resets and I didn't think that they would cause any harm, but till this day I get very hateful messages about how I'm lazy, how all I do is turn a camera on. I should finally turn the camera off and go get a real job, because this isn't a real job. You know, making vlogs is stupid. Like, there's just the amount of negative comments I get. It's tough. And then also, if you want to add on to everybody and their mother and their sister and their brother and their grandmother and their great-grandmother telling me to go get a real job. Like, it's time. Your time on YouTube has passed. Go get a real job. You're too old for this. It's all my fault. It literally is all my fault. And I kind of wish that I could take it all back, because that's like the one thing that people don't forget about is how broke you are. And you know, even with my family members, I love them to death, but they're constantly telling me, wrap it up, Kara, go get a real job. And it's like, who said that this wasn't a real job? Like, I still pay taxes. I actually pay more taxes than what my family pays in taxes, because when you're self-employed, you pay a lot more. And I don't buy things constantly, so there's nothing really to be deducted. But what I'm trying to say here is, you guys, stop telling people your business. Stop telling others at work like, oh, I don't make enough money, I can't afford this. Just don't talk about it anymore. It's okay to say like, oh, this is just so expensive, that's crazy. It's okay to say things like that, but do not share your checks. Do not share your personal finance struggles, income, with friends, family. Like, unless your family members understand and they're not going to judge you for it. Same thing goes for your friends. But like, when it comes to people at work or strangers, just don't talk about your finances to other people. Because when I was making those videos, I wasn't feeling that down. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm not making enough right now, but I know that'll change. The minute I started seeing all the negative comments, the minute I seen people just telling me to go get a real job, it made me feel horrible, absolutely horrible about my income. And it made me feel like, what am I doing wrong? And then you have other people messaging me and telling me like, oh, this girl has less followers than you and she's making way more money than you. You need to figure out what you're doing wrong. It's probably because you're not wearing makeup anymore and you are a little bit on the heavier side now. Like, I have gotten every kind of message that you can think of when it comes to me being a little bit too personal on YouTube, or on the online world, I should say. And that's why I don't do the monthly resets anymore. That's why you don't see me talking about my income anymore. Heck, I'm even trying to like stop talking about money all in general. It has definitely put me in a negative spiral, and yeah, I wish I could take it all back. And the same thing goes for like when I did work at a regular job. I wish I didn't talk as much regarding my personal life to people that I worked with, because at the end of the day, no one cares. The people you work with are not your friends, and they're not meant to be your friends. And I try to tell my sisters this all the time, because they're kind of in the same position that I was back in the day, where like they want to go out to eat with the people that they work with, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to know your boundaries when it comes to like shutting your lip, because some people are quick to just throw you under the bus or to just throw anything at you, and it can hurt. It can really bring down the way you think about your financial aspect or the way you think about yourself. Your income right now might be low and you might not feel the best about it, but you're not like completely negative towards it until you start talking about, you know, your situation with someone, and then they just start putting you down and down, and then you start to talk negative to yourself, like, yeah, they're right, why am I not making this much, why am I stuck at this apartment? And like I said before, you guys, you are at where you are right now for a reason, and it took me a long time to realize that for myself. Try to talk less. Try to talk less when it comes to your personal finances with other people, because at the end of the day, no one cares. Us humans love to judge. We love to gossip, and it's sad to say, but that's what people are going to use. What you just said, they're just going to use it as ammo. And I'm not saying everybody, but majority of people will use it as ammo. So the minute you tell someone, oh yeah, I'm not making that much money, this is what I'm making, and then you buy yourself something nice, or you buy something that you needed, that person will come to you and be like, I thought you were broke, why'd you buy that? Clearly you're not that broke. Like, it's just unnecessary judgment that you just don't need at the moment. And the last thing that I want to mention to you guys is to constantly remind yourself that you already have everything that you need. It's very easy to get into that trap where it's like, I want more, I want more. But in reality, you know, you have a roof over your head. If you do, then feel very lucky, because some people don't. You have hot water. Again, some people don't. You have food in the kitchen. You have clothes. You have a closet filled with clothes. You have everything that you need. You have your personal stuff, like your makeup, the personal things that you use, the miscellaneous items. You have everything that you need and more. You know, you just have to start switching that mindset to a more positive mindset. And that's something that I am working on till this day. I'm trying to be a better version of myself for my future kids one day, because I don't want to put my issues on them. And growing up as kids, I remember hearing my dad complain about the light bill at 5-6 years old. I remember not to turn the light off and on too many times, because he said it was a quarter every time. I remember when I was 13, make sure you only get 10 minutes to flat iron your hair for school tomorrow, because if it's on any longer, it's going to cost him like 10 to 20 bucks on the electric bill. Like, everything was like nickel and diming. It was hard. It was very hard growing up as a kid. So now that I'm older, I'm trying to do better for myself and also for my future kids, and also for my partner. You know, in the past, I drove him crazy, because thinking negatively constantly does nothing. It absolutely does nothing for anybody. Not him, not me, for nobody. So I'm trying to think more positive. And I feel like you guys also should think more positive and realize and try to remind yourself that you have everything that you need right now. So lately, when I catch myself thinking negative, I switch it, and I'm like, wait, why am I constantly thinking like, I need more views, I need more money? I have a nice camera that I can still record on, make videos on. Who knows, maybe one day a video will do really well again. But as of right now, I'm happy with, the little community that we have on this channel, and I'm still doing this as a full-time living. Like, that's amazing. I have a decent car. I have a cat that is almost cured, which is amazing. Those of you that know my story, Milo has just been through hell and back, and I'm just so grateful that he's still with us. We have a decent apartment, even though it is pricey. We have a roof over our head, and the minute I start thinking negative, I just start thinking of everything that's going well in my life, everything that I have, and that's what's helped me think more positive while living on low income. On that note, I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next video.